Lossett and Andrew Elenbogen. We got Green-Red Tron, Red-Green Valakut. Both these players 5-0. And actually, one thing to know about Andrew as well, former Tron player actually has a Grand Prix top 8 with Tron.
Okay.
So, not just to face in the crowd as Joe's here with an expedition map off of an Urza's Mine to get round number 6 underway. For Andrew, it's a stomping ground, search tomorrow. And let the fun begin as search tomorrow starts with 2 suspend counters. Lossett will draw.
And I'm worried, at least for game 1, that Lossett is just lacking enough interaction for this kind of matchup.
He's going to have to be quick, that's for sure. You know, he would have preferred that Grove of the Burn Willows to be another Tron land, let's say. It is the second land release for Joe, so he can sacrifice the expedition map and find a land. For Andrew, it's a forest and now a Farseek. Farseek will resolve, and we'll see what Elenbogen does want to search up. He'll go with a stomping ground, pass the turn back over to Lossett. Lossett will be searching up a land as well in Urza's power plant, the old busy Electric Bee, and then Joe will take his third turn in just a moment.
Something that will be helpful for Lossett in this matchup is that a lot of his top end incidentally blows up lands, and if he can keep Elenbogen kind of tight on mana, that's a way to prevent very much from happening on the other side of the battlefield.
Lossett will draw. Now there is the power plant. Here's an expedition map. He'll have Tron online next turn. Search tomorrow here for Andrew, however, means he's going to get to search up a land, and maybe as he searches up a mountain, we might have a Primeval Titan as soon as turn 4.
Play a land through the breach.
There you go.
Although having the basic forest complicates the Valakut math a little bit.
A touch.
This deck is in the market for as many mountains as possible.
Elenbogen will draw now for the turn. And does he have it through the breach here?
It looks as though he's drawn a lot of copies of Valakut.
That's a touch awkward. At least 2.
I think that, is that all 4?
Maybe? Here's a Sakura Tribalder? He's got another one in hand for sure. His hand looks really weird. Lossett's going to sacrifice that expedition map. Tower of Power on the way. There it is. Nice to see that Joe's actually invested in real Tron lands.
Yep.
Got to give him some credit there.
Matching art or no?
Probably not. Just guessing. Joe still likes to show that he's in control of the future match area by messing with us a little bit. There's the Tower of Power. Tron is online. A lot of mana available here for Joe this turn, 8 to be exact. Could go towards World Breaker if you'd like.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. Patrick's all fired up now.
So close to Ulamog.
Joe, a lot of things to weigh here.
Come on, Joe.
And you just want to see him kill land, don't you?
I suppose he's got a mana to spare, so.
Yeah, so he can play a Sphere.
Right. That's fine.
There's Chromatic Sphere. Joe going to cash that in. Likely a green mana. He'll draw a card. Another tower.
Oh, no. The yard's different.
Yeah, that's true. That's tough. Tough to watch there. Green and colorless mana floating. He's got Karn in hand, too. This is right up your alley. I think a lot of lands are going to die.
I think, unfortunately, Karn is, I guess it's about the same thing. Sure.
There's Karn. Starts on 6. See if the elevator's going up or down.
I can't imagine playing this and going up because it doesn't require a whole lot for Elenbogen to be able to win the game. So you're going to play this, it's because you want to interact with the battlefield.
He's going after a stomping ground. Wants to cut off the number of mountains that Andrew has, which I think is smart. I think you can let him keep the Valakut and just kind of go after the mountains. Andrew going to very quickly sacrifice Sakura Tribal to search up a basic mountain. He'll shuffle and present over to Joe, and then we'll head back Andrew's way in just a moment.
If you're only blowing up one land, it's about the same thing. But if you're blowing up several lands, it's a lot better to just be cutting off the mountains.
So let's see what Andrew can put together here. Didn't get a great look at the draw. But again, we know he's got at least another copy of Valakut in hand. That's a Cinderglade. And there's the battlefield untapped because of all those basics out there. And it might be prime time. It is prime time. So Andrew's going to very quickly search. I think we're going to see a couple of mountains on the way. One of them can take care of Karn, and then the other can go upstairs and hit Joe. So 6 mountains on the battlefield right now, along with 1 Valakut. Titan doesn't have haste, of course, because it was hard cast, not put onto the battlefield via through the breach. And now we'll head back Joe's way.
So now Lossett's in a position where he needs to answer the Primeval Titan and also would like to answer the Valakut if possible. But priority 1's the Primeval Titan.
Almost assuredly.
And even just World Breaker right now is not a sufficient response.
No, not at all. The 5/7, I mean, it's good, but it's not great. What it feels like it requires right now is a card like Elenbogen. Now remember, Joe last turn could have played World Breaker. He opted for Karn. Now if he had gone maybe the other way, Karn comes down, takes care of Primeval Titan, life's okay. And Joe's going to give Andrew a life. And it looks like it's going to be World Breaker. With the cast trigger, he gets exiled. That Valakut. And the follow-up here. So he's got a lot of mana to work with. It's going to be a Spellskite, an Expedition map. And that'll be it for Lossett's turn. So let's go back over to Andrew. He'll draw a card now. He's got an active Primeval Titan. That thing can attack if it wants to.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking for Shane Salmon.
And Lossett cannot trade with it. World Breaker is a 5/7. Spellskite's a no 4. So the best that Lossett can do is just bounce off.
There's Valakut. Summoner's Pact. Huh.
Well, go get another Primeval Titan.
Nice.
If he's doing this pre-combat, it probably means he has Through the Breach.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to do the math. I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay.
But I'm guessing Joe's dead.
Okay. You're going to leave that up to me and the viewers at home.
Yeah.
Got it. That's on us. Cinderglade, along with Valakut. We think.
Yeah, I mean, the triggers are a little awkward here because Lossett has a Spellskite. You can redirect a little bit of it.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing every road leads to the same place.
Yeah, I think what you do there is you just say, okay, both targets at Spellskite, get that out of the way. Now attack with both of my Primeval Titans, search up as many mountains as I possibly can. That'll be 4. That'll be a bunch of triggers from Valakuts. And then one Primeval Titan's also just going to get through and hit you for 6. So all of these triggers, that'll be 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 times 3 is 24.
And then 6 more.
Yeah.
So
30.
Lossett's
Bang.
dead by a lot.
See, I was willing to do the math for you.
Yeah, I knew it was lethal. I didn't know how by how much, but I knew it was lethal.
We'll see if we can get you a raise with that kind of commentary.
Okay.
Andrew Elenbogen's going to win game number 1 here over Joe Lossett. Red-Green Valakut up a game over Green
Just hop
Red
in and correct me when I'm wrong.
Just submit your lineup and collect your cash. We'll take a look at the sideboards here for both players. We'll start with Joe. Number 1 on our Player of the Year leaderboard right now for the SCG Tour. He's got 4 Lightning Bolts, 3 Nature's Claims, 3 Thragtusk, 3 Warping Whale, a Relic of Progenitus, and a Forest. Not a lot.
No, I mean, the Warping Whales are okay here. They interact with a lot of the early sorceries that generate extra lands, but this is a pretty light sideboard. On the other hand, his top end is not great in this matchup. He's got several copies of Wormcoil Engine, for example, that are kind of nonsense. So I imagine he can make room for the Warping Whales, even though they're not great here.
For Andrew, he's got 3 Obstinate Baloth, 3 Anger of the Gods, 3 Spellskite, 2 Crumble to Dust, 2 Grafdigger's Cage, a Relic of Progenitus, and a Reclamation Sage.
I'm guessing the 2 copies of Crumble to Dust and the 1 Reclamation Sage coming in this matchup. Sage is not great, but there's plenty of artifacts in the Tron deck. There could be spots where something like Oblivion Stone is problematic. You can at least force the issue there. And the 2 Crumble to Dust are easy to bring in.
And those are the options there for both players. And we will be underway in game number 2 in just a moment. But keep in mind, this Red-Green Valakut deck that's having a heck of a tournament here. Matthias Hunter, Max McVitie, and now Andrew Elenbogen all playing this deck. And Joe Lossett has put Tron on the map. Those are options for Modern Weekend taking place in Los Angeles, hosted by Channel Fireball. Charlotte, hosted by Star City Games. You can find out more about the latter right now.
On May 20th through the 22nd, make plans to be part of Modern Weekend and Magic the Gathering history when StarCityGames.com proudly presents Grand Prix Charlotte. Register for the Modern Format main event to compete for thousands of dollars in prizes and receive an exclusive playmat featuring Jace as he pores over the pages of Tomio's journal. Select the 3-day Infinite Challenge package to compete in all challenge events for one low price, while also walking away with the exclusive Jace playmat. Add a premium rewards package and take home a collectible pin, deck box, 80-count pack of sleeves, and playmat, all featuring the iconic Noble Hierarch. Play in select side events for even more chances to win additional Noble Hierarch pins, deck boxes, sleeves, and playmats all weekend long. And don't forget to come say hello to Grand Prix Charlotte's many special guests, including cosplayer Christine Sprinkle and an artist alley full of fan favorites, headlined by guest of honor Rob Alexander. Be part of Modern Weekend and Magic the Gathering history. Register for Grand Prix Charlotte today.
We are looking forward to Modern Weekend, whichever one you can attend. Be sure to attend one either in Los Angeles, hosted by Channel Fireball, or in Charlotte, hosted by StarCityGames.com next weekend. Play one of these two powerful decks. And for Joe Lossett, he's really demonstrated the power of Green-Red Tron as we learn more about number 1. And could be the player of the year on the SCG Tour. Wouldn't surprise you if he won it, right?
Oh, no, it would not, but a lot of Magic left to be played on the year. Hard to project that far out, but the amount of success he's had in the Opens and in the Invitationals, I think there's a very good chance he locks it up.
A member of Team Nerd Rage Gaming is the 36-year-old from Redlands, California, with, yes, 20 Open top 8s, 5 wins, 2 Invitational top 8s as well. Varsity rower at the University of Colorado, a Star Wars fanatic, and he follows StarCraft 2 as closely as he does follow Magic. I don't know if he plays StarCraft 2 as well as he plays Magic, but if he did, that'd be a pretty impressive feat, as he is number 1 right now in our Player of the Year race here on the SCG Tour, and he is 5-0 to kick off this weekend here in Indianapolis. So he's off to another great start, though he is down a game right now. I think a tough matchup.
I think so too.
Yeah?
The deck is pretty good at interacting with the board, but unfortunately for Lossett, even if he is interacting with the board, this Valakut deck can kill pretty easily in one shot, and Lossett does not have a lot of interaction at instant speed. Most of what he does is sorceries, either planeswalkers or creatures, and so it makes it very hard to interact with the bursts that these Valakut decks are able to put out.
And they hit you pretty hard. That's for sure. These decks are not messing around. Both players are going to take a look at their opener. Again, Joe will be on the play here. It looks like Andrew will take a mulligan. Does not like his opening hand. So down to 6 goes the Valakut deck. This deck probably mulligans okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a combo deck to some extent, so mulligans are always painful. But combo decks that are about slap A plus B together usually mulligan a lot better than critical mass decks, and this build of Valakut is very much a A plus B sort of deck.
Well, Andrew's going to take a look at 6 cards while he does finish shuffling up for his mulligan. We'll very quickly talk about the StarCityGames.com weekly sale that does take place every week. Got a new one for you. And this one, you can save on select wholesale goods.
Yeah, a lot of these collections are very, very nice for getting someone into Magic. A lot of cycles of common dual lands and things along those lines. So go check out the wholesale sale right now. That's a complicated thing to say, wholesale sale. Sale on wholesale goods. Ends Monday, 10:59 a.m. Eastern Time. 11 o'clock rolls around. There's a new sale. Happens every week, so just be checking back at the website periodically. Check out the new sale.
StarCityGames.com. That's where you can go.
Wholesale sale.
You did it. Andrew going to scry. See where that top card goes in just a moment. Joe trying to stay awake. He's bored.
Yep.
It's all just straightforward and easy for Joe nowadays.
All you can do is play a land and tap out each turn.
Pretty much.
And just hope that that's good enough.
Yep. He's going to keep it on top. We're underway in game number 2. It's Nurse's Tower of Power, and now there's an Expedition map. Let's go back over to Andrew. His first turn of the game. That'll bring a Search Tournament. Never mind. Excuse me. Oath of Nissa. Different 1-mana green play for this deck.
This deck absolutely, positively needs to find Primeval Titan, and failing that, land drops are helpful. That's what the other thing the deck is up to.
Secure Tribe Elder.
Yep, Oath of Nissa does it all.
Take a look at the top 3 here, Will Andrew. See what he wants to take as he does consult his hand. Basic Mountain. That's you. He selected you. Nice.
I got the joke.
Thank you. Looks like another tower in Joe's hand, so it's a bit of a slow build towards the Tron, but once he assembles the Tron, assuming it's on turn 4, he can cast an Elenbogen right away.
I'll say this for Joe.
Okay.
Mismatched Tron pieces, not great, but at least he stacked the towers together.
Yeah, you got to give him that. There's a Warping Whale. We'll take a look at that. That thing's got 3 modes, can only be cast off of colorless mana, but one of the modes is a very nice one in counter target sorcery spell. This card, at least for me, one of the more underrated cards.
It's an odd collection of effects. I imagine it's mostly in Lossett's sideboard for this mode, though the other stuff can come up as well. It was sort of initially billed as an anti-Splinter Twin measure because you could exile Exarch or Pestermite with the exile effect, but then that deck essentially got banned. Still shows up a little bit in decks that are dense on colorless mana.
For Lossett, it's an Ancient Stirrings off of a Grove of the Burn Willow. So nice as to give Andrew a life, be able to cast this very powerful spell. Looks like he's going to be selecting an Urza's Mine, but they want to make sure they've got life totals in order here. And there is the Urza's Mine that Joe will select. So, Urza's Mine in hand, Expedition Map on the battlefield that can search for Urza's Power Plant, so you can put together the Tron pretty easily here. Go Andrew's way. There's a basic mountain. This is a Spellskite. That will resolve. So, Joe is going to sacrifice an Expedition Map. Wants to check his hand just to make sure he doesn't get the wrong piece here. So there's the Power Plant.
Spellskite's a little bit of an odd one to see in the board here.
Well, it's actually got some nice utility against Tron. Can redirect a Karn activation, can redirect a little bit of Ulamog activation as well.
Okay.
So it does a little bit, not a ton, but what it does is not irrelevant. I will say that. Next up for Joe, it's an Urza's Mine. This is a Chromatic Star. He'll cash that in. And we're going to head back Andrew's way. Draw a card for the turn. Sacrifice very quickly a Bloodstained Mire. Cinderglade is the weapon of choice.
See if he has one of his sideboard to crumble to dusts.
And the way he's moving through his turn, I have a feeling he might. Tapping 4 mana, bang, crumble to dust is going to go after Urza's Mine. This is your brand new Sowing Salt, folks. And it's always been easy for Scapeshift to cast. And I called it Scapeshift again.
It's okay.
And it's just not that.
I know what you meant, man.
It's just, I'm so used to seeing Scapeshift or Prismatic Omen in this deck. But it's red-green Valakut with Titan and Valakut and Through the Breach.
This match has had a satisfying number of stone rains so far.
You've enjoyed this?
Yeah, it's been good, you know. I feel like I'm getting my money's worth. Now, this is the real trick. Can you exile all copies? Because they all have different artwork.
Ah, right, you have to pass the test?
Yeah. Don't mess this up.
Do you leave your opponent with 1 just to give him a little sense of hope?
I think that's really risky.
Not a good idea? Okay. All right. Just curious about your thoughts on the matter.
Just check to make sure there's 4 there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
There
it.
you
He
go.
did. Great.
It's not amateur over here. Andrew is a former Tron player, so he knows what it's like. You know, actually, as a former Tron player, I'm a little disappointed in him. Crumbling and dusting a Tron deck. There's like an unwritten rule here that you don't do that if you're a Tron player. That's not cool.
It's so much fun when you've played a particular deck for a very long time and you lose to one sideboard card pretty frequently, and then you have that sideboard card against other people. Feels really good.
I think it's horrible.
I remember the first time that I got to Paladin and Vex some mono red players, and just I felt like I was getting back at the universe.
You're
You know,
real tough guy. Well, Joe's going to go the Sanctum of Ugin route now.
but this is a real slow burn now that he doesn't have access to Tron for the rest of the game.
It's going to make things a little difficult, that's for sure. Disappointed in you. Very disappointed in you. Let's see what's next here for Andrew. He's going to start by sacrificing a Wooded Foothills. You know, if Tron is going to pick up, and again, Joe got second place in Milwaukee, and he's off to a 5-0 start here, and it just makes sense to be able to do something like Crumble to Dust. Jeez. Through the Breach for Primeval Titan, going to search up some Valakuts here.
I think this might just be lethal.
So that's 12.
18.
Yeah, it's 18. Not
No, he's good.
close.
Just any land kills him now.
Yep. Any land, any spell that searches for a land.
Right.
Any Primeval Titan attack, any Summoner's Pact.
Yeah, I think the only bricks at this point are spell kites and additional copies of Crumble to Dust.
Hey, nice. Nice. And I think I know you want to see another Crumble to Dust.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I figured. Joe will play on because no quit. Draw a card, bang, upstairs. Andrew Elenbogen is going to win this match here over Joe Lossett 2-0. Red Green Valakut is going to take care of Green Red Tron. We felt it was going to be a pretty tough matchup for Joe, and those games, yikes.
Doesn't pressure, doesn't interact with spells very easily, and Elenbogen's got some really good sideboard cards to boot. Just a very tough matchup for Lossett. Not a surprising 2-0 win.
6-0 with the Red Green Valakut deck that he, Max McVitie, Matthias Hunt, and a couple other people are playing here this weekend. Talk to Matthias before we went live this round.